saw a quote today. It said the time jump between 2019 to 2024 feels unnatural. It's like it said I lived 3 different lives since 2019, and I can't think of a more accurate quote. Because honestly, if you think about it, like how much has changed just between 2019 to 2024, even in just the world in general, the way things are done, it's crazy. But honestly, it's actually very accurate for me because I had a lot change just from in 2019 itself, and then from 2019 to now, it's like I looking back, it's like I cannot believe like how much has changed. Hi, my name is Grace. This is my channel T1D Mama Crossing. Here you'll find all sorts of videos on the life of a diabetic and a mom with this crazy little munchkin you'll probably hear in the background of this video. You'll find DIYs. As you can see, I'm an avid crafter, just from my background. And also, I love Animal Crossing, so you'll see a lot of videos on that. I wanted to come and talk to you guys today about my kind of the history of what I was trying to say, which from 2019 to 2024. In 2019, I was diagnosed as a diabetic in April of 2019. But honestly, like just 2019 in general, my life changed a lot because I started dating my now husband actually a week after I was diagnosed as a diabetic. And then later on in that year, they actually moved, so we became long distance. And then I started my first job. Let's see, I think it was like, well, I started my own job thing in around like 2019, but like 2021, I started my first job. And then right before I got engaged, I started another job. And then I actually bought a house, got engaged, got married, all within the span of 4 months in 2023. And then, like, how long? It was like not long after we got married that I got pregnant with little man here. And at the beginning of 2024, I had him, and then here we are now. I actually changed jobs again. Actually, after I had him, I was on postpartum leave, and then I went back to work, and it just was not working out. So I'm just doing something small for my parents now. But yeah, so I've had 3 different jobs. I went from boyfriend to fiance to wife to mom, and I became a diabetic. Did I say that? I don't remember. But yeah, and I've changed churches twice. So, because I went from the church I met my boyfriend at, well, I say met, I met him before that, but that's a story for itself. But, his dad became pastor, that's why they moved, and so when we got married, I started going to that church. But, yeah, it's just a lot. And, let's see, what else has changed? What else has changed, Boogie? My hair's definitely changed a lot. You'll see even in the videos after this, I technically filmed before this video, so my hair's a little different. Actually, you'll see a video of me changing my hair. At least that's the plan. But yeah, so it's just like I just wanted to come here, introduce myself. But I was thinking about telling you my diagnosis story. Let's see, when did the symptoms start? Like in March of 2019, I obviously turned 19. And then like during the progression of then, like I started, like I birthday's like at the end of the month. So it's like I had some weeks of like feeling like really thirsty all the time. Like, have you ever seen the movie like The 13th Year? That's like the kid at the water fountain just constantly. That is like literally the best way to describe undiagnosed diabetes, like with that excessive thirst. But and I literally had that scene at church. I was like at the water fountain for like a very long time. But yeah, it's like all of a sudden it was just like I was dealing with those issues, and then I don't really think we noticed my weight loss at sorry, my stupid Dexcom. I should cut my camera off right now. Anyway, so basically I was dealing with those issues, and then so my mom had done the keto diet previously because I had complained to her like I was super thirsty all the time, like nothing would quench that thirst. And so it's like I didn't really think anything of it. I didn't really know about anything at that point, but like so she decided like she was doing the keto diet, so she had like a blood checker already. So she decided that she was going to check my blood sugar. And my blood sugar was like somewhere around 450, 460 at that point. And so she's like, oh, she tried it again, and it was like around the same. So she's like, oh, we're taking you to the hospital, or taking you to the doctor, whatever. And so it's like I called my now husband, but like he was like my best friend. Like, cause we weren't dating yet, but we were a thing, if that makes any sense. We were talking at that point. We weren't official. So I called him, told him, hey, I'm going to the hospital. I don't really know why, but like my blood sugar's high or something. I don't know if I even mentioned my blood sugar was high. I probably did, but honestly, a lot of that is a blur. I just remember talking to him. And I remember when I was there, I didn't want them to come up there. He was actually in the hospital a week before for an allergic reaction. That's its own issue. But I sit there and I just like I wasn't comfortable when I was at the hospital because I was very modest, so I just was not comfortable at all. But yeah, so they were trying to say I was type 2 diabetic. They were like saying all that because of my age, because I was 19. But obviously, I had lost a bunch of weight. I was like barely 100 pounds, and like my blood sugar was high. I was thirsty and all that stuff. So like there was a big concern because we weren't going to be able to get into an endocrinologist at first, but the Lord worked it out where I was able to get into a pediatric one still, because I still went to a pediatric doctor at that point. But so I went to the doctor. I was actually diagnosed as a type 1 diabetic, and then so I was starting on those couple days between where I wasn't able to get a doctor. My mom wouldn't let I wasn't they gave me metformin, but I wasn't going to take it because my mom was like, that doesn't make sense. And so I was just on like little to no carbs for those couple days, and we just monitored my blood sugar. It wasn't really, it was like 2 days, I think, because I was diagnosed on Saturday. I didn't go to the doctor until Monday or Tuesday. I can't remember. But like my pediatrician found my endo, and then I was able to go. And so they started me on insulin. I was on like literally like the base limit of insulin at first. But like luckily I was thankful to have him through a lot of that beginning stuff, because it was like stressing me out, because I feel like my sugar stayed high I was like on MDI, my sugar stayed high a lot. I wound up getting the Freestyle Libre. I don't remember how long after I was diagnosed I got that, but like honestly it wasn't very accurate for me. And it's just like, sorry, my kid's playing with a toy. I was trying to figure out what that noise was. But yeah, it's basically like after a few months of that, like they wound up moving. So it's like I was like, it was in a very low state. And it wasn't until I started watching like YouTube videos and finding others and actually made a friend that I was really like a little bit more accepting of my diabetes. Like I hated like having to watch what I ate. I felt like I couldn't eat anything because I was already a pretty picky eater anyways. So it's like very hard for me because I like love sugar and carbs and all that stuff. Like my favorite foods are like what, macaroni, chicken, and dumplings. Like I love cake, ice cream, all that stuff. So it's like that was very hard for me. And then it was like not the biggest vegetable lover, so that was the thing. But I'm one of those people that's like I can be pretty disciplined when it comes to like eating and stuff. I was okay, like I had given up like one time I had given up soda for a year, and I like and all that stuff. So it's like being disciplined wasn't like a crazy thing for me, but it was just like at the same time, it's like it wasn't something I wanted to do. It's like being at church or just like being around where like Baptists love to eat. We love to eat like fried chicken, all this stuff. It's like I felt like I was like around all this food I couldn't eat. It was driving me crazy. And then like my friends moved away, and it was like I felt just alone a lot. So it was like that was annoying. But yeah, but a lot of things happened, and I was thankful overall for everything that went through. But in 2020 in July, I was able to get on my insulin pump, and that was a life changer because I finally got it to a point where I could eat more. I could eat more normal. My doctor was like, I don't want you stressing about food. Like, I didn't need to be low carb. Actually, I couldn't be low carb because I tried the keto diet, and to be honest, my sugar stayed high more because I wasn't getting enough insulin. It was just weird, and I was like, I it's basically like until I got my basal to what it needed to be, it was just like a struggle. And because I was on so little insulin in the beginning and on NDI, it wasn't working very well. Like a lot of exercise and stuff, it just shot my sugar up. I dropped all the time. It was just a mess. But yeah, so basically, when I got on the pump, things got better for me, and it got more normal. And I got the Dexcom, and the Dexcom was way better for me because like the Libre, my sugar was basically like, I'm what you would call a brittle diabetic apparently. Like my blood sugar fluctuates like no end, and so it's like, I'm sorry if I say that too much, but basically, just dealing with my blood sugar a lot, like I needed to be on the pump, and like the control, like I got the tandem pump, and the control IQ like was like a life changer for me. But yeah, basically since then I've had a lot of ups and downs, and I've had some crazy sugars, but I've never had no, like, Lord willing it won't happen, but I haven't really had like to be hospitalized or whatever. I have had super high sugars and stuff, but like, and I was like once only on one occasion that I had like where basically like my sights failed a couple times, and I was like sick as a dog. But like even when I was diagnosed, I wasn't sick and stuff. Like I wasn't in DKA or anything, but like my sugars were super high and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I that's just like the shortened version. I'm like, I don't know how much more detail I can go into it, but like, if you have questions, let me know. But yeah, it's like obviously I was diabetic for my pregnancy. I was high risk, and honestly, it wasn't that bad, but I did like my insulin usage like tripled during my pregnancy, and then like I went up with pre-E at the end of it, and he was huge. He was like 10 pounds, 2 ounces, but a lot of that, yes, sir. Like a lot of that was like fluid at the end of it because I was very swollen, and I wound up with my blood pressure wound up going off. But honestly, I blame my doctors on my blood pressure, to be honest, because my endo was happy with my A1C. I was happy. My sugars were probably one of the best it's been. Like, but like my MFM, or if you're familiar with high risk doctors, you'll know what that is. They were beyond frustrating. Like I switched more than once because I was trying to get. I used to work at Hobby Lobby, and then before I got married, I started working at Amazon. And as you know, Amazon is a very like stressed on the body job. But I was on light duty, so I was at the computer all the time. But I worked nights, and it was like stressful on my body. And it's like the way me and my husband's schedule was, it was just ridiculous because the way my husband's schedule is, he's there later a lot of times, and we were there at the same time, and I had to wait on him all the time. And if I didn't feel well, I couldn't just drive home because one, I didn't drive very well, and especially when I got more pregnant, obviously I didn't drive because bigger and stuff. Like I just didn't feel comfortable, and then driving at night is another thing. Like we lived like an hour from work, so it's like I couldn't just go home. I had to wait on him, or it was just so I needed the time off because like my work would have gave me the time off, but it's just like the doctors wouldn't give me the note for it. Yes, Boogie. Yes, Boogie. I'm sorry. But so yeah, basically I was finally able to get off work a couple months before I had my baby, but like the doctors were driving me crazy, and it's just I was swollen, I just think a lot of that had to do with my blood pressure, like just too much stress, because there was like, we had a lot of different things happen during my pregnancy that I won't go into right now, but like, it's just, it was a lot. And I think that was like why my blood pressure and stuff went up, and why I had to be on medicine, like with pre and the medicine and all that. But like, overall though, I don't think my pregnancy was that bad. I did have a C-section, but like the day before I was supposed to be induced, because I wound up with pre-E. But it wasn't an emergency C-section. I still wound up having all women in there like I wanted, because I'm big on not, like, I prefer women doctors. And like, I was up and moving the day after. My son was in the NICU for 2 weeks, but that's its own annoying story. But to be honest, I think he was in there way longer than he actually should have been. But it's because not every doctor listens, and so that's its own issue. Right. Yeah. But, yeah, so it's like, diabetes did affect that, but like not to an extreme amount. Like, I mean, first pregnancies I know have their own issues anyway. But yeah, so I mean, that's kind of like my life as diabetic in general. Like, I mean, like, I'm a roller coaster all the time, but it's been easier since I got on the pump, so I highly recommend it. I actually am set to start the tandem Mobi pump, so we'll see how that one goes. Yes, dear, I love you. I guess I'm going to end this video here. My son obviously needs me. And I hope you'll subscribe to my channel and you'll come see my videos. I'll be posting probably a lot in the beginning, and then I'll figure out a schedule. But I just needed, obviously, to introduce myself here. So thanks for watching.